How you doing? I'm Steven. Welcome to my bathroom. Yep, this is the studio. Firearms fundamentals, marksmanship. Here's the deal. Breaks down into 4 sections. First one, grip, then sight alignment, trigger press, follow through. Let's start with grip. Pretty easy. First, we have the handgun. This is Glock 22. I'm going to get my hand as high as humanly possible in the tang of that grip, getting as high in relation with the slide as I can. Now, the support hand is going to come in and fill in all this stuff that my primary hand has left out. And I'm going to do this, I'm going to turn my hand up on the 45. That way I can ride up on the rails right here. And I'm just going to fill in that whole grip so I have that good 360 degree coverage of this handgun. Bam. Now, I also turn my wrist out to a 45 because this is stronger than this, right? We're talking about controlling recoil. It's coming this way. I want to be able to push down, have good pressure, be ready for that recoil when it comes, right? So we can't stop it. We just have to deal with it, right? And I don't want to do this move where I'm pushing down into the gun every time I shoot. So I'm just going to go ahead, get good, bang, and then just let the recoil happen. It's a fact of shooting. Next one, sight alignment. Very, very simple. These things that they put on the gun, not a design flaw. Yeah, we're supposed to use those. It's the reason Gadsden Glock put them on his guns. It's the reason that John Moses Browning put them on his guns. It's the reason that since we've had guns, we've had sights, right? It's not to be condescending. People really think you shouldn't use sights. They're stupid. So, here's the deal. These things, the idea behind it is, this is standard notch and post sight, is that you have your rear sight and your front sight. Okay, I'm going to fit my front sight, bam, there in my rear sight. You want it to be flat across the top with equal amount of lights on each side and all the emphasis on this guy right here. Now, sight alignment, super important. Absolutely, super important. If my sight alignment is off and my front sight is too high, my shot will go high. If my sight alignment is off and my front sight is low, my shot will indeed go low, again with left or right. The front sight will dictate where that bullet goes when it is placed inside the rear sight channel. As well with, if you have a optical dot sight, you're going to bring that thing up. That dot has to be on target, and you have to be relatively close to the middle of your optic, or you're not going to have perfect sight alignment. You're going to have some small parallax shift. It's too pedantic. That's a whole different video. But as far as sight alignment with iron sights, front sight fits inside the rear sight channel, equal height across the top, equal light on either side of that front sight, all emphasis on this guy right here. Bam. Next one, trigger press. Trigger press, super easy, right? Come in here, take all the finger that you humanly can, put it into that trigger guard. All of it. Like if you can get all the way in here, go for it. If you can only get this much of your finger on it, go for it. But what we're looking for is we're not looking for this gap right here, right? You want to close in all that gap that you possibly can. That gap is bad juju. That is a lot of room for you during your trigger press to start influencing the gun laterally this way. It's the reason why people tend to, if you're right-handed, tend to throw their shots to the left side. And if you're left-handed, tend to throw their shots to the right side. It's because their trigger press is off, and they take it and they wiggle the gun like this as they're pressing their trigger through, and it is wrong. So, take your finger, put all of it in there, close up all that gap. You want all of it in contact with the frame of that firearm. Bam. There you go. That is the only right way to press the trigger. Take all the finger that you humanly can, put it inside that trigger guard, closing in all of the gap here, and then press. Now, last one, follow through. Follow through, very important fundamental. Really quick, trigger press. As you can see here, as you may be able to see here, there's a crown written on top of the word trigger press on the last S. That is because trigger press is king daddy of all fundamentals. Basically showing that if all of my sights are just a blur, right? I know that if I put that big blur in the middle of my target and my trigger press is true, my shot is going to be there every time. But I cannot be influencing my gun laterally or up and down and expect my shots to be on target. It absolutely will not happen no matter how Gucci your sight alignment is. Not going to happen. So, trigger press, extremely important, and also the hardest fundamental to master. Absolutely. Follow through. Very simply can be explained as after your shot goes, you realign your sights, you reset your trigger, and you're ready to take the next shot on the target. One-shot gunfights don't really happen anymore. They tend to happen in multiples. If I'm going to shoot you once, chances are you're worth getting shot twice. Is what it is. So, I come in here, when I shoot an offensive situation, it's not just bagoosh, and I bring the gun back and I do my tactical scans and all that stuff. Really, it's pop, 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 and then I kind of keep an eye on you while you're writhing in pain or you just fall down on the ground, and then I kind of assess to see whether or not you are in need of getting shot again. And then I start checking around pretty frantically, and hopefully I see what I need to see. Right. So, here. Bang, my shot goes off. I realign my sights. I reset my trigger in preparation for a next shot. If I don't have to take one, I just take my finger off the trigger, bring the gun back. Right? Reholster when I feel is necessary. Do what I need to do in between. But, bang, realign my sights, reset my trigger in preparation for the next shot. Now, if you fire 5 shots, you should see 6 sight pictures, including the last one that you get during your follow-through. Every time you take a shot, you should see 1 more sight picture. It's good follow-through. It's absolutely a fundamental of marksmanship. It's a fundamental of shooting. So, those are firearms fundamentals for marksmanship. I hope that helped.